Hey now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls from Ellwood show, and I've got not one, but two very special guests this week. With me, you may know him. He's a returning guest. You might remember his last appearance. He's an accomplished comic book artist. He's a founder of Random Insanity Entertainment, Poor Adorables. He's a musician, and you can see him in the flesh at the Great Media Comic Con on April 13th and 14th. Of course, I'm talking about Johhny Necro. But that's not all we have today either, cats, because we have another very special guest. You may know her from the several trauma films you might have seen her in. You may know her from her music or videos that she does. You might even know her from her hot sauce. Give a huge welcome to the one, the only, Purple Pam. How you folks doing?
Hello. Good.
Awesome to be here with
Good.
you guys.
Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. So, we got a lot to talk about. Let's hit the ground running. So, let's not waste any time. First off, let's talk about this brand new Spank and Frozen Dead comic, Johhny Necro. You want to tell me a little bit about that and how it
I
came?
want to start. I want to start with thanking both of you for being in it. All of Trauma, Beatrice Buckley, all my guests. I'm not going to name them all. They know who they are. Their books are out. I'm so excited. I had a wonderful turnout, a good response. This is the 11th Frozen Dead graphic novel, the 12th printed volume, if you count the crossover with Cerebus the Aardvark, Cerebus in Hell. And I couldn't be prouder with that last story in there. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how you guys thought about it.
I actually I finished it last night. I wanted to have it fresh in my head when we talk about it. I love the whole Necroverse, thing. It's almost like an alternate. Like it reminds me of the Marvel movies.
Right.
Only less lame. But but yeah, can you tell me a little bit about how you came up with the certain cameos you picked and the homages? Obviously, you pay big homage to lots of '80s stuff, lots of horror stuff that we're obviously into.
Well, the original the first half of that book originally ran online. The crossover story with all the icons, that's brand new for the book because my characters haven't even been in their own comic for the last 3 years. They've been all over the place and Claymation World, and then now in the Necroverse. All those characters I drew is just everything that I absolutely loved. So I wanted it, and Brett said it best, to be like the Willy Wonka boat ride where you're seeing all the flashing images. So some of them had less dialogue, so it was like rapid fire. Because if you were them, they would be jumping quantum leap like that until they got trapped in our world, which is the story you guys are in as yourselves. That's how you're yourselves because it's our world. So,
well, yeah, I wanted to ask you too. How did you and Purple Pam cross paths?
we became friends on Facebook about a year ago, didn't we, Pam?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And we actually were just talking about like New
Can you
York
hear
City
me?
and shit first.
I was actually following the progress, I think, from before you'd even started working on your book. I was curious, how long from the very beginning to the start to finish did it take to make this joint?
2 years.
Oh, it was
Because,
really 2 years?
well, because the original part of the book was posted daily online until I got done with that. And then I immediately started working on the second part of the story after that got done running. And that part I actually did. I did that story in maybe 2 months, like inked, written, everything, cameos, corrections, whatnot, contacting people that came. And honestly, this idea is over fucking 6 years old. I had actually had an idea of Brett and Johhny going to a horror convention, and I'd already had permission from Paul Taylor from Hellraiser Judgment, and back from the first Terrifier, David Howard Thornton had already agreed, and it's amazing how much he's blown up since then. You know what I mean? It's. I did double check with him, and Dr. Chud, he's been a wonderful reoccurring character with Frozen Dead. David Calabrese, Dr. Chud, he gave me a cover quote on my first book in 2015, and then he did it for the reboot of the origin story, and then he's appeared in it drawn a couple of times, and that's why they had that little scene where the different timelines, the other Johhny never met him. The
Ah,
original met him, this one never did, and Brett knew him because they had come face to face before. In fact, that that Pickles comment, I have a funny story. I just spoke with David on the phone the other day. Pickles is what he calls his stepkid. It's a nickname, but it's a coincidence because I have a character, Pickles von Necrostein, that Dr. Chud stitched together in the comic series. So he created one of my characters physically. Well, I came up with him.
Nice. What was the?
And he's another trauma representative.
Oh, I know that's right. I dig that dude. I miss the I miss with when they were Michael Graves was together. I like that. A lot of people talk shit. I like that era.
It was awesome.
Misfits, yeah.
I told him the other day, I've loved Misfits my whole life. Their albums are better than anything. And that was the closest to being fanboy I've ever been. Because normally I don't even talk about that shit because I got to be professional with everybody. I don't get to be a fan anymore.
What was the easiest and hardest part about getting out the new book?
The easiest part was getting Beatrice Pupley to do the forward and appear in it. You might know her, Amanda Kruger from Nightmare on Elm Street 5 is a big fan of Horror Adorables, and she'll be the first to tell you how much she loves them. And so she was the easiest part of the entire book. Dealing with her is always great. She's been a peach, and all the trauma people that I represented have been nothing but great. I wanted to show the real convention. I wanted to show the people that work the booths as well as the people that attend like you, or the people that are icons like Pam. I wanted to show everybody, and Lloyd was the cherry on top because that just it made it feel so real. And that's probably when I actually said, "Oh my God, fuck it! I'm putting logos everywhere. I'm doing whatever. I got permission from the boss man. I'm gonna make a big old love letter to trauma in this. I think there's more trauma in it than even my characters.
That's not a bad thing for sure.
No.
Can we expect to see another book here sometime soon?
Not anytime soon. The series is still in reruns. I do know what the next chapter starts. They finally did get home at the end of that story. Spoiler for whoever doesn't have the book, but they finally get home, but you don't see what happened.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was asking. I wondered if you already have ideas for the next one.
I do know what's going on for the most part, and it's not cool for them. That's why Brett hates me.
I mentioned at the beginning that you're going to be at the Great Media Comic-Con on April 13th and 14th. Whenever fans come to see you, what can they expect from you? Like, can you can you come up and just rap with you, get pictures? You got
do whatever they want. They can get a hug if they want. I don't give a shit. I'm just a guy. I'm a factory worker who draws funny books and plays music. I'm a fan too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're a very nice and approachable dude. So you heard him. Come on up, go see Johhny. He's got all kinds of cool stuff he can turn you on to. You make sure you pick up this, the brand new Frozen Dead comic. I think you're really gonna dig it. Do yourself if you're not picking one of these up, you're doing yourself a disservice, cat. So please. But
I do gotta say one thing for people that come. There is a Frozen Dead scavenger hunt in effect. Because there are some people that drew pinups there, and there are people I drew in the book there. So there are people related to that book. They can get to sign it as well as me. I'm not going to say who. They can figure it out themselves. That's why it's a scavenger hunt. But they won't be far from me because I already asked.
I wanted to ask you both. You two have something in common. You're both accomplished musicians. Can you both tell me a little bit about what you got going on with your music right now?
Have her go first because we've talked about that briefly before. Go ahead, Pam.
Yeah. Well, my current band is called Love and Murder, and it's rock, blues, and punk, and we've been together. I mean, other than 13 years, but we had different names. But we got a new lineup, a new bass player. So the guitar player used to play with, he's the founding member and main songwriter of Cycle Sluts from Hell. Remember that song, I Wish You Were a Beer?
Mm-hmm.
You know that song?
Yeah.
No? Okay, whatever. It was really fun. So yeah, we have a new album out called Sinners. And we have a show this weekend at E13, a very popular metal bar. And I've just been doing music forever since I was 17 professionally, So yeah.
I'd actually read, Pam, that you sing opera and you actually have a 7-octave range. Is that true?
7 and I think a little half. Yeah.
Nice.
7.5, something like
That's
that.
amazing.
It is definitely 7. I still have it because I don't smoke cigarettes.
Me neither, thankfully. I quit years ago.
Yeah, so did I. I quit probably 6, 7 years ago, I think. And I smoked for probably 20 some years, and that was rough. But that's definitely something I'm proud of. Let me ask you, Johhny, what do you got going on now? I know you got a lot of music going on. What's
Oh, I finally got to build Evil Shred Studios here in my house. I finally bought a drum set. I've been practicing on them. I got my guitars. I got my PA. I've been writing some new stuff. I am so excited about this because it is a labor of love this time. It's a passion. There, it's my chromabilly sound that we've talked about before, where
yeah.
I blend a little bit of punk and metal and rockabilly and doo-woppy shit, and I do horror rock, but I do weird sides of the stories and weird love songs. Right before we talked, I was working on one called Haunted. I cannot wait for you guys to hear that eventually. Haunted is a love song from a ghost point of view. And the play on words is just so cool. Like, oh, I don't want to give anything away, but I get chills from it. Also, I recently released, and you can see this one online, a video of me practicing Overlooked, which is a song about Jack from The Shining. Mostly the book, a little bit of the movies are hinted at because it worked really well. But it's a very sympathetic song about Jack. It's not making him look like this monster like he gets depicted and so many people think of him as. His character was a really tragic character in the story. The book, I recommend anybody read The Shining who hasn't actually read it and then read Doctor Sleep. The movies are okay, but read those back to back, man. I recommend it. So I'm excited about that song. Otherwise, I'm not doing any shows anytime soon. I'm just focusing on recording. I'll be releasing some more stuff on the Johhny Necro page soon. We Are Horror Records came back. They were on a hiatus. I haven't re-signed with them yet. I'm not looking to do anything like that until I have a good, solid package that I can decide if I want to do that or if I just want to do that on my own. I'm not worried about how to sell it. I'm worried about how to get it to you guys now. You know what I mean? Anything I've done before, though, Killing Innocents from the 90s or 913, the goth horror industrial band, or Asylum, it's all on my Bandcamp, and my link tree can get people there, all that shit. But yeah, I'm back doing music after years of not playing shows. And you remember, I used to open for the Misfits and Agent Orange and Exploited and the Addicts and everybody. We were getting pretty big with Asylum, but infighting ruined my best friend and my relationship for life. And I quit for a very long time to get myself clean and to get myself more focused. It was hell. It was years before I could just have a couple beers and unwind without everything just being like, gotta like fucking self-medicate and miserable fucking human being. So this is the most purest music I've done. So
Well, you'll definitely have to keep us posted on it, dude. I'm looking forward to it. I actually want to ask both of you. I mean, being as musicians and performing gigs, I mean, can you both tell me what's the craziest thing you've both seen while performing a show?
Pam, you want to go first?
I don't know. It's not as I can't say anything that I've seen. I mean, it's stuff that I had control of, like always having a wireless mic. I think probably one of the craziest things I did was follow a guy into the bathroom. And and then he turned around and there I was singing. Because if I have a wireless mic, I'm dangerous. We played this place. It was like a really bad neighborhood. And it was like a club it was like a bar and it was like in a storefront and it had couches and chairs around. And then there were people doing crack. Some homeless people doing crack. And I went out with the wireless mic again and just started going, yeah, just smoking, singing. And everyone was like, no, don't do that. And I was just like giving them attention and, high fiving and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, And then they ended up sitting by the window doing the crack, watching the show because they wouldn't let them in, obviously.
Johhny, I don't know how you're going to top that.
And I watched a fight out there. And
I don't know if I can top it, but the one year Asylum played Cleveland Music Fest, We had 2 shows in one day. We opened for the Misfits, and then we headlined upstairs in Cleveland, Ohio, in Lakewood, Ohio. There's a bar that's called the Fantasy Lounge, and it used to be a seafood restaurant years and years ago. So they had half a pirate ship in there, which you're supposed to stay off of. I just bought an $80 wireless for my bass at the time because I was playing bass for them, and that wasn't cheap for me, man. That was a lot of sacrifice. So I started the song, "The Bone Collector," on top of the pirate ship, and the lights are coming on, and I'm playing my intro, and they're playing and cutting back and forth. I jump off that damn pirate ship, land, run straight through the crowd. It parts. I knee slide into the stage, bust my fucking wireless get. The guy gives me my cord. I plug it in without missing a note, and I keep fucking playing.
Man,
but I broke my damn wireless mic. I never got to use it again. I said, fuck it, never bought another one.
Actually, wow, that's something too. I don't know which one's better, but anyway, I wanted to ask Pam. I wanted to actually talk to you for a few minutes. I grew up being a Trauma fan. You're surely recognizable from those works. I wanted to ask you, what's it like to work on a Trauma film, and what was it like being in the Diaper Mafia?
Oh, that was one of my fondest memories. Was my first experience was Romeo and Juliet, and they had asked for like just a photograph and info, opposed to a headshot and resume. And I definitely got in because they said, well, you're one of the few that followed directions. And so when I got into the scene, the first scene was where I'm just kind of in the club and I'm dancing, and Lloyd, like, I mean, I've never met him. I was nervous and everything. And what happened is he goes, all right, there's going to be a live band, and everyone has to dance really slow, like they're on acid, and just really slow. He goes, because what's going to happen is the band is going to play regular tempo, and you guys don't go with the tempo. So he spent 20 minutes, telling us this, and for a reason. So, I mean, it was packed, and I think I told him my name one time, because he, like when he's placing people, like, what's your name? All right, Purple Pam. I didn't expect him to remember that. But there I was in the middle, and I'm doing my thing. And so we practiced that for like I said, half an hour, and he explained it for 20 minutes. So the band comes in, and everyone was doing the right thing, but the band started playing really fast. And I'm the only one. I was doing my thing, and everyone else was going fast, and people were looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he goes, God, you stupid. He's calling us stupid motherfuckers, you bunch of idiots, blah blah blah. And I was thinking, oh shit, well, at least I'm in the middle, he won't see me. And apparently he goes, not one of you told you I spent all this time, not one of you people did what I asked, except one, and that's Purple Pam. And I was like, oh. He goes, everyone look at her. And then I was like, hey. And then I ended up getting, so the fact that he knew my name, and the fact is, like, people like, oh, he's really mean to people. Well, I can see why. When you're an idiot, he's going to call you a fucking idiot. And if you know what you're doing, then you get mad respect. And I did get another part, which was a speaking part. And so when it showed in Times Square, I'm looking for the and it was like I'm looking for my name, and like even the guy who did the farting effects got credit, and I didn't get a credit. So when computer came out and I figured out how to do an email, I was able to write to Trauma. And Lloyd didn't know much about the internet at all. But he answered my email. I was like, oh, I hope you remember me. I said, I was just kind of miffed that I didn't get credit. And I had a speaking part. And he's like, oh my God. He goes, you got to understand, everyone in Trauma is drunk. And he goes, but tell you what, he goes, we're doing the Toxic Avenger Part 4, which was like I was like excited. He goes, you automatically have a part. Just go and we'll hook you up with something. But the thing was, they actually asked me, like, would you dye your hair? Because they were like, to be like the lead or something, for me to, audition. And even though I had a part in there, and they asked me, would I do nudity? And I'm like, I'll do anything except nudity and lesbianism. And they're like, okay, cool. Instead of, well, then you can't be in it. Because I mean, I know what a trauma movie is, but they were like, well, we'll give you something else. So they gave me the diaper mafia. So, and being in there, it was like being an extra in a movie. You got to always understand, you got to bring something to do. You can't just go there and then get bored. I mean, I'll bring books, sewing, even when I do extra for like major labels, I mean, major motion pictures, bring something to fucking do. So we're sitting there and everyone was complaining. There was this one woman with big ass tits. And she's like, all Lloyd wants me to do is be naked. It's like, well, what do you expect? It's a trauma film, so everything, I mean, that didn't make me like, oh, because you're not doing it, we can't use you. It wasn't any kind of a pressure thing like that. Working for trauma is the best. And it was, and there was a time where we had the stockings, the tights for the type of mafia, and they had an art department and they were washing them by hand because we were in a warehouse, and they were washing all the tights by hand and drying them with a blow dryer. And they were up all night. And so I couldn't go to sleep. And I was like, I offered to help. And they're like, no, you're part of the talent. And I'm like, yeah, but I'll help, And because of that, they gave me new tights, So I got mad respect. It's like, just respect everybody, And then, Lloyd was great on the film. There was one part, this was very interesting. His name was Tim. He was the special effects guy. And for some reason, he hated me because, I mean, I waited 5 days to fucking get killed, And the guy, he was telling Trent Haga, he was like, I ain't doing her makeup. I'm not doing it. I'm done. And I'm talking to me like I'm third person, like I'm not even there. And I told Trent, I said, I've been here 5 days. If I don't get a blood scene, there will be some real fucking blood because I'll take that motherfucker out. So they eventually gave me the flag up my nose. And it was great. It was, I let all the blood pour down on me. And I was like, he was like, look here, look at Toxie. I didn't know where they were. I just turned and I had my eyes were open with blood. I got great still photos of that. And he's like, scream, it hurts, because there's so much going on. But, that was, I mean, working with trauma is great. It's just, you got to you got to know what a trauma film is about. You got to know there's sex and nudity, because I have music in it. In the Toxic Avenger, I have 2 songs, my band Flytrap. And we had a manager and we almost didn't get it in because he's like, you don't know, like they might put it in a scene like Huey Lewis had a soundtrack, they had a song in a movie. It's a fucking trauma film. No matter where they put the song in, it's going to be a fucked up scene, so who cares? And I almost didn't get it in, but I ended up firing the manager and we got the music in.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember the soundtrack. That had a great soundtrack to use on it. There was a bunch of great people.
I always tell them that's yeah. I mean, the things I tell people, just to sum this all up, I tell people, if you go to film school, go there. It's free. You might work for free. You might get paid. But it's like you can quit whenever you want. Just give 2 weeks notice. You know what I mean? And you do learn a lot. Because I did my music video for Kick in the Head. I mean, I did the special effects, and, I put that whole thing together, that whole production of Kick in the Head.
That actually leads me to my next question. I know both of you. I know Johhny's working on a short film, and I know Pam, you do several short films of your own. Can you guys tell me if you have any of those coming up right now? What are you working on?
Should you announce it or should I, Pam?
God, I'm in so many films I don't even know. Oh, you should.
Yeah. Here's your exclusive content. Purple Pam has been cast in my short. She plays my ex Violet in it.
Nice.
That's all I'm going to tell you about it.
And my name's Violet. Awesome.
I love that. That worked, didn't it? That was perfect.
Well, we'll definitely be waiting to check that
Yes,
out.
it
That's
did.
that's awesome. I actually wanted to ask Pam. My friends, I have two friends, Erica and Francisco, and they constantly tell me they swear by your hot sauce. How does one go about getting into the hot sauce business?
Wow, that's a good question. Because a friend of mine who got me into it, he was like, "Oh, that's a big business right now." And this was like in 2015, and he was like, "I'm gonna have like a distributor, and I'll sell your sauce." But he didn't realize it had to be FDA approved. So I was like, I know nothing about hot. I mean, I love hot sauce, but I didn't know how to make it. He goes, "Well, your marinara sauce is so fucking hot. Just do it." So I kind of did it, and I gave myself like a month. And he says, "Don't be biased. Go to bars, to people you don't know, and go into a bar to ask people to try some chips with some hot sauce is pretty easier to do than to try to sell your CD or something." You know what I mean? So I did that, and I gave myself a month, and I nailed it in a week. So then there was the part of, okay, co-packing kitchen. So once I got it in and people really loved it, I was selling mock bottles. My friend Aaron Max Design, he did all my packaging, and he made my first one, Kiss of Death. He made like the bottles from photographs that I had taken from a photo shoot, and I told him what to put on it, and we did it together. And so I sold them for like $5 as a donation. And I made like $3,000, which was just enough to get everything done from a co-packing kitchen, which I had to do research for and ask people in the hot sauce business that kind of told me what to do. And so it's actually like $2,000 to get everything done, FDA approving the bottles, get all the ingredients that they make, and then I just had to give them my recipes, and that's pretty much it. And then
Yes.
you just put them online, go to stores, go to restaurants. Yeah, a lot of places wouldn't, like Mexican places, like they were like, oh, it's too hot, and I would look at the bar and it's unopened. I'm like, dude, you didn't even like open it, you stupid ass. So, and I'm like, it's called Kiss of Death. It's not really going to kill you because I would be in prison. They took the name really serious. Go figure. But I did make a Toxie's elixir.
I know I want to try that. Where can I try that at?
Well, I can send you a bottle.
Can I get
But
that
you
off?
can go on purplepamhotsauce.com.
Yeah,
and order it.
You heard that, Catch? You want to log
I can
on to
send you
there
one.
and try
Everyone
some
else
of this
can try
hot
it.
sauce? Pick up a Toxie's elixir. And I just wanted to shift the tone real quick here. I got this thing I want to try called rapid fire. I'm just going to ask you a couple quick wacky questions. Just name the first thing that comes to your mind. So, first one, both of you, what's the stupidest thing you've ever did as a kid?
Moved to my dad's house.
I don't
No,
know.
really, he was a
Ate
piece of
real
shit.
mud pie. I ate a mud pie.
Awesome. All right. What's your favorite thing about yourself, both of you? Go.
I can help make people happy.
Wow, these are hard questions. These are deep. What's wrong with you asking deep questions?
I didn't want to give you the same old shit. I figured I'd put a little thought into it.
Hey, what's wrong with the same old shit? It's in my trauma ad.
Wow. I don't know. I guess I just don't give a shit.
Oh, that's good. That's totally good. All right. If you could have a superpower, what would it be? Both you go.
I don't need no fucking superpower. I watch enough movies and read enough comics.
Oh no, I got to answer for you because I think about this every day. I want telekinesis.
Ooh.
And my second one would be to be invisible. Telekinesis, fuck yeah. Actually, if I had to have one, telekinesis for sure.
Perfect. All right, guys. What's something on your bucket list you haven't got to do yet?
I physically haven't gotten to meet Lloyd in person yet, and I'd like to do that at some point, but my schedule just doesn't allow me to travel a lot right now.
What? Everyone's met Lloyd.
Yeah, we definitely.
No, I haven't.
That, Johhny.
I don't know. Play Madison Square Garden or just one of the, biggest arenas around.
That's a good
Any
one.
arena, any big arena.
Next, what movie scared both of you as a kid?
Poltergeist made me piss the bed.
That clown made me piss the bed.
That's what did it. That motherfucking clown scene. And I'm not scared of clowns. That was a scary fucking scene.
Yeah, I'm with you there, dude.
Ugly little fucker.
Yeah.
Somebody just bought it for like a fucking $500,000 or something.
Yeah, I seen that. That's I wouldn't even have that in my house. I'd probably shit the bed just walking by looking at it. Pam, how about you?
I was never scared as a kid because I've always liked it. I always liked like Vincent Price and stuff like that.
Oh, he's my favorite.
When I
He's your favorite.
think I was 8, when I saw Psycho, I just liked the fact that you actually saw a stabbing with blood.
Yeah, that was
And
revolutionary.
to this day, like when I was 21, when I got my tonsils taken out. Yeah, so it wasn't really scared. It wasn't shocking, that was for sure. Because it was like the first time you actually saw a stabbing instead of something that was just insinuating. That's why when I discovered VHS and beta tapes, when I worked at this video store, I didn't know what I was working in. It was just they were looking for a cashier. And then I saw I took them home and you can actually see stabbing, like Blood Feast and Blood Sucking Freaks and Toxic Avenger, Blood Feast, and Blood Sucking Freaks were the first 3 movies I saw, and like you can actually see like naked people getting stabbed, So it was never a scary thing. It was just seeing the blood and the streaking of the blood going into the sink. That was cool.
I got time for one more for you here.
There's more to this bullshit. Yes.
I got time for one more for you. What's one thing that everyone loves but you can't figure out why?
Seinfeld.
You don't know why people like Seinfeld? I don't.
Listen, Jerry.
Why do people like
Or
Seinfeld,
Taylor
Johhny?
Swift. It's like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, why do people like Taylor Swift?
I don't know.
I can't figure out Taylor Swift. What's the big deal?
Flavor of the month.
I don't know.
Well, those are both really good ones. Well, I just want to say thank you both for dropping by here. I actually want to ask you both before we go, where can we keep up with both of you and where can we keep up on what you're doing? Because, I mean, you guys got so many different things going on at so many different times. As a fan, I want to know, and my audience will want to know where we could see you at, where we could keep up with you. So please, both of you, before we go, let us know where we can keep track on you.
Find me on Facebook and look up my link tree. That's the easiest way. I finally discovered what link tree was this year, and it's been very helpful.
How about you, Pam?
And for me, it's Purple Pam. But my personal page on Facebook is Pam Purple because Purple Pam was taken by me. That's my music page. So if you look up, an Instagram is Purple Pam. / Purple Pam Hot Sauce. But if you just Google search Purple Pam, if you find me on Instagram and Facebook, that's awesome. You can always find like stuff that I'm doing, like movies, gigs, show, whatever. But if you want to hear all kinds of music, if you just look up Purple Pam, like Reverb Nation, there's like 56 songs on there with like raw live recordings, studio recordings, stuff I've done over the years. So if you just look up Purple Pam, you'll find me.
There you
I
have it.
apologize
And
about
hear
the
all
back
kinds of
cover
music
again.
and kinds of films and photos and stuff.
Well, there you have it, cats. Make sure you keep up with my guest, Johhny, Purple Pam. It was a delight and a pleasure, an honor, and a privilege to have you. Thank you both for being here. Make sure y'all go out and check out what they
Thank
got
you.
going
Thank you for
on, and
inviting
make
me.
sure you come back and let's talk about something whenever you got more shit going on. Don't be a stranger. Make sure you stop by, and let's do this again. So thank you both.
I definitely won't.
Thank you so much, Johhny. Thank you so much, Purple
Yes,
Pam.
thank you.
Thank you both.
Peace and
Again,
love. Peace
thank
and
you for
love.
sharing.
Make sure you see Johhny at the Media Comic Con. Make sure you pick this up. Make sure you pick up some hot sauce. Thank you both. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Yeah,
Love from beyond.
awesome and stunning. Peace and love. Peace out.